There is the ship, there's that cruise ship behind you there, Ayesha. What's the latest you can tell us?
Rodan, as you can see and as you correctly pointed out, the ship is behind me, and when we arrived this morning we saw some of the passengers that have been left on the ship, because remember, 6 of the passengers had been removed from the Aidamira on Monday. And just to give you some background, when the cruise liner came into the harbour on Monday, it was immediately placed under quarantine, and we saw the port health officials going towards the ship and removing at least 6 of the passengers and placing them under quarantine. We've since heard from the Western Cape health authorities that these 6 passengers are being tested, and in the meantime the ship will not be allowed to leave the dock, and also the more than 1,700 passengers will not be able to disembark until those results are known. Now, we've also heard from Transnet port health authorities and they confirmed this, and they're saying that this is the first case of a suspected COVID-19 case in a seaport in South Africa. We're going to have to wait until perhaps later today or tomorrow to find out exactly what those results are. We're told that it will take anything from 24 hours to 48 hours for those results to be made known.
Yeah, and the Minister of Transport, Fikile Mbalula, the other day announcing that only 2 of our ports will not be allowed people to go to. I think one of them was Mossel Bay. Cape Town is still continuing to do business as usual, but it looks like the port health authorities there were vigilant enough to pick up suspicion of coronavirus. Suspicion. We're still waiting for the tests.
Well, what happened was that the ship's doctor actually picked up that 6 of the passengers had been in contact with a crew member who had the COVID-19 symptoms, and it was as a result of that, when the Aidamira came into the harbour here, that the yellow flag was raised. And I was told by people in the know that once the yellow flag goes up, that is an indication that the ship is now under quarantine. And as I said, as soon as the ship berthed, she was placed under quarantine, and we saw the port health authorities immediately going on board to remove those 6 passengers. But I'm also just going to ask my colleague Crescendo to show you just how empty the harbour is at the moment. Normally, Cape Town Harbour is a hub for cruises, and there are normally a lot of luxury cruise liners in the harbour. And I've also been told that the season only ends mid-April, but already a number of the cruises have been cancelled. So it would appear that the Aidamira has been the last cruise liner to come and berth here in the Cape Town Harbour. And of course, as we heard from the Minister of Transport, that as soon as we hear the results, depending on what it is, the passengers, the more than 1,700 passengers on the Aidamira, will have to be escorted immediately to Cape Town International Airport to board their flights to go to various countries in Europe. And I guess that's also going to be a logistical nightmare, Bradan, because a lot of these passengers have already missed their flights, and I'm not sure how many flights are going to be available to take them to their various countries of origin.
The impact of COVID-19 being felt globally and everywhere. Thank you very much, Ayesha Ismail, there at the Cape Town Harbour.